it'll create well conflict and creativity, right? Puts these players outside of their comfort zone, and what better map to do that than the very unpredictable Gates of Obscura?
Yeah, Gates of Obscura and the Juliet already being locked for Spirit Crab. We are seeing Rasmus Julie alongside this Mako, so we're going to be having this Rasmus midfield, but the Mako supporting them, I don't think that's really that bad, right? It means that they can just run around the map to their heart's content and have that secure capability. But on the other side, Finny and Rune have very great core control potential and definitely better than the Rasmus when it comes to reaching a lot of these far cores.
Yeah, we already see with the draft picks so far two different styles of play. SLU will try to batter and bruise and rush
Ooh.
UNC with the speed, and on the other side, UNC is going to try and outmaneuver and control the core with the added range they have. And it is a missile prop adrenaline rush start here, Ether.
Yeah, and I mean, on second thought, I am maybe slightly worried for UNC-CH, right? Because you're running double midfield into a goalie as proficient as the Fool, especially with Mako, right? Mako can kind of hold down this goal forever, and with double midfield, that's going to be insanely difficult to crack. And we do see one barrier getting taken, but it's paid for with the life of Grant OS.
Yeah, Grant OS a little bit too close to the edge there. It's a power play now for UNC. Spirit Crab running nice interference, and the Fool has been looking so strong in the goal box. Has this flip already, right, Chu? Didn't really need to do too much. The Brawlers can't really get the core, and that's the strength that we were mentioning earlier about running two midfielders. But once you keep that core in the corner, it is disaster, and SLU able to find both barriers.
Yeah, but keep in mind, right, the problem of the Brawlers not having the reach to get the core can be slightly alleviated with something like the Mako. It means you now have the speed, right? It's as if you're playing something like a Kai or a Now, right? You have that capability to keep the core going forward and the flip being burned by the letter B. But Spirit Crab, he finds the angle on the bottom side and slots it in. Raichu 334, a little too slow on the barrier beam.
Yeah, beautiful angles there. Nice coordination, nice passing play. And it's being supplemented by the Fool bass and drum. So critical to help activate this offense and keep the core in the corner where these Brawlers can shine and dump damage, because this Finny is looking really low here. Rune doing his best to keep the core forward, but unfortunately, Finny down and out for the count. SLU with the power play, and Raichu a little bit too slow, almost lost that barrier. Nice breakthrough, able to salvage it. Holding on for now, Raichu. He has to deal with this power play as Finny comes back online. And so far, the defense has been holding for UNC as we've expected it.
Yeah, but keep in mind those cooldowns, they won't last forever. Another one used, the breakthrough out by Raichu, a great pass from Grant OS down to Spirit Crab. That takes the second barrier. Might see another pass intercepted by the strike shot. And then a great strike shot out by the Fool. But the passing plays, they're so good out by SLU. They even burn Raichu's flip and get a goal for a second point for SLU.
Yeah, and there's not much you can do as a goalie in that situation. Both of his forwards were extended past the enemy forwards, and that just opens up so many passing opportunities. It's hard to navigate. It's too much to ask for. And SLU, they need to get something started on this offense, and they have. They found one barrier here. They need to make it two and fast before things snowball out of control. A lot of space to work with here is UNC as the ensnare drums come out, but to the dismay of the Fool, second barrier drops. It's an open barrier situation for UNC, and they almost find the goal! Drum and bass at the perfect time. I thought that was going in. Beautiful defense from the Fool, who continues to hold in the face of everything. Is this tricky rune pick, difficult to navigate, but patience is key if you want to deal with it. No cooldowns, the core's just going back and forth and back and forth. Drum and bass up again, but the triple take supplemented by the one strike war. And SLU, they dominated that point from start to... Oh, I'm sorry, that is UNC. The UNC, they dominate that point.
Yeah, UNC finding that point. They really needed it, but as I mentioned before, SLU with this Mako pick definitely so good at defending against Rune Finney. It took UNC forever to find that point, and even if they did, they're going to need to find a few more like that if they want to win this set.
Yeah, one barrier down for each team here. Core in the midfield. One strike war, though, to activate this offense, Grant OS. More than happy to run interference there. But the core, I mean, it's going back and forth between these two teams. Possession is not being maintained long enough, but you give letter B an opportunity to strike, and he will. Both barriers down now for SLU. A flip finds a kill. It's a power play now for UNC, but the core continues to wander. They need to activate in 6 seconds the Fool, buying enough time with that flip. And Rasmus, Grant OS back online. Beautiful navigation there from SLU, able to defuse that sort of hairy situation with the power play with ease.
Yeah, with ease, but as I've also mentioned, right, the side of SLU with the double brawler, they're just struggling to keep the core just in control, which means that Raichu is able to use those abilities and buy so much time for them. A great strike shot out by the Fool. It comes over to Spirit Crab, and in the corner, the triple take is not enough from letter B as Spirit Crab finishes off the first set.
That was a lot of dangerous activity with the portals coming in play. That strike shot from the Fool, so clutch, and even worse, it quickly reactivated the offense for SLU. And with a rapid fire pick being taken here by the Fool, this Mako is just going to have such a better time helping his forwards control the core and keep that core in the corner for the brawlers to shine.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to keep in mind, this rapid fire is not only great for Mako, but actually also for Julie and Rasmus. This means that you don't have to deal with a rapid fire Asher, because since Julie and Rasmus struggled to keep the core forward, Raichu would have had even more time to regenerate these primaries, which he wouldn't now that there's no rapid fire on his side.
Yeah, rapid fire on Asher is an absolute nightmare to deal with, but what's even worse to deal with is a power play for SLU, and it's too much to handle for Raichu. No cooldowns, barrier beam coming up just in time, able to hold on to the point for now, but Gates of Exura, the map coming in play, the primary coming as well. Raichu able to navigate it all though, punch, but the pass, Grant OS, beautiful pass to Spirit Crab, and Raichu, the breakthrough was just a little bit too slow. SLU make full use of the map and each other to gain the first point in set 2.
And hey, if you struggle with the core control from a long distance, why not just pass, right? And that's what SLU has kind of realized, and even more so with the speed. But another kill found out by Spirit Crab. The Adrush proccing once again takes the first barrier in this corner with the ensnare drums. They have a flip ready. The flip burned out by Raichu, might be burned out by Spirit Crab soon after as he finds a strike. The flip, where does it go? It gets deflected by Raichu, but it's back to the other side.
Yeah, beautiful play from Raichu, holding on for dear life and able to make the most of a dangerous situation. Portal plays coming into the scenario once more. Oh my god, what was that? Absolute spaghetti. And missed strike from Raichu, but not like it would have mattered. Grant OS quick with the hook on the uptake.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think there was a chance of that strike even hitting, right? It's just the hook was perfectly timed by Grant OS, and finding that means that SLU are even closer to a potential, I think, even 9-0, right? I don't know if has the side of UNC scored any?
I think 1 point here, but UNC, they need to change something with their game plan. They need to change it now. They do not want to go down 2 whole sets against a team as capable as SLU, who've been finding so many kills. The letter B just takes it. Grant OS picking up a kill, disrupting the pendulum swing off the adrenaline rush. It's too much. It's a snowball coming in once more for SLU. They go up 2-0.
But hey, last series, it looked pretty similar to this, but we had an absolute heater of 3 games. Might be seeing a similar thing, but looking at this Julie first pick, heavy impact, even more powerful for those dash punches, And the Might of the Colossus is not even denied away, right? Now Grant also has a surprising amount of power, but there is still some pretty good core control, right? Between the Fighter Flight, the Hot Shot on the Rune. I think SLU has some reason to be scared of the core control on the other side.
Yeah, they've been getting away with highway robbery with the drafts for their brawlers, but this was a good draft for both teams. Hotshot Rune and Fighter Flight on that Finny. Always scary, Fighter Flight on any character, but they need to just fundamentally change their game plan. The letter B and a Rune, they're not coming back to help with Raichu as much as they need to with two brawlers, and it's too much to ask for, too tall an order. Raichu forced to use so many cooldowns to get these clears, but trapped in the corner is that core with the portals. Unfortunately, a portal clear found in the flurry, able to find two there. Disaster once more striking for UNC. Big Finish coming out trying to start something. I mean, Spirit Crab and Grant, they didn't even bother coming back. They know that the Fool has got their backs.
Yeah, and I mean, don't be fooled. The side of Raichu and UNC are trying their best to hold on, but it's not enough as the dash punch is used by Spirit Crab. The flip not soon enough from Raichu, but at least he has it for the upcoming points.
And can we take a look at this energy economy? Well, you would think that with the core control double midfield comp, we'd be seeing a lot more energy on the side of UNC, but no, only Raichu has his flip, and it's almost 3 flips on the side of SLU. This is extremely dangerous to be in as Raichu is forced to use his to get that clear and gets a barrier. Huge compensation, but the Whiplash will strike true. Core wandering into the midfield. Nice portal drum and base, able to deny the second barrier for now. And the core is just not being pushed towards the side of the Fool enough. There is not enough momentum behind these attacks as Rune is killed once more by the Pendulum Swing. Adren Rush proccing a nice breakthrough, buying enough time, but the portal play, letter B, wasn't ready for it. That was precious seconds wasted, gone, as the power play strikes true. 2 barriers gone now for UNC.
Yeah, 2 barriers down, and a great flip out by the Fool, but an even better strike shot by Raichu. The primary from Asher buying even more time, but in this position, it's not great for UNC as they are down a barrier and the Fool just keeps holding it. The dash punch, Raichu almost has the clear opportunity, but Spirit Crab barely clips it, taking another point and putting us on game points.
Now, Raichu had an up clear there, but had to break through first just to get to the position in order to save it the first try. And unfortunately, that was a very long punch from Spirit Crab. A flip committed from Grant and snare drums. That'll keep the pressure raging. No! Somehow the core is able to sneak away, but Grant OS able to find another kill off the hook. Beautiful strike shot from Raichu, buying as many seconds as possible in the face of 2 brawlers with Adren Rush. There's the flip. Barrier Bream, counter flip by the letter B, and power play has been successfully diffused, but unfortunately the remnants of it does cost UNC 1 barrier.
1 barrier, soon to be 2, and letter B, he dies, and that's another kill for Grant, popping that adrenaline rush, meaning that I think he'll have that ult up in another 10 seconds thanks to the proc. But Raichu, he's just holding on this defense. The path splitter actually goes wide. A great flip to the opposite side, but it just comes back to him and barrier falls anyway.
Oh, that's the price you have to pay for not being aware of the portals on Gates of Obscura. A strike shot from Raichu. He's holding on for as long as humanly possible, but for how long can he? The Fool dribbling, waiting out the portals. Patience, Rune's greatest weakness. A flip on the side of SLU, not even needed though. What a beautiful redirect from Grant. And SLU, they take this first game in complete and total dominance.
Yeah. In dominant fashion, and the thing is, this is an open map like Gates of Obscura. If this is what happens on an open map, what will happen on a closed map where brawlers have a much easier time in maintaining core possession?
Yeah, and I believe our next pick is Taiko Temple, where brawlers are surely able to shine with the corner offense and how quickly they're able to get that core thanks to the volatility of the drums. But I think once UNC goes back to the drawing board here, they need to talk to Full Sawfish and the letter B. Raichu 334. He's an iron wall for a reason. but the core was getting to the brawlers too quickly. Cooldowns are required to stop the monstrosity that is the SLU offense. And when those cooldowns are down, it's up to the forwards to help supplement the defense in those situations, and it just wasn't happening.
And hey, I think the one thing that UNC-CH could potentially do is maybe they think about, okay, let's try taking away the Mako, right? The Mako seems to have allowed these brawlers to get so much more presence that they otherwise probably wouldn't have had. But is that even enough, right? The Fool can still hold it down on other characters, and Spirit Crab and Grant, they've also been playing so well and winning so many interactions.
Yeah, and interactions was what ultimately cost them that game. UNC, full Sawfish had only 45 redirects on a rune of all characters. I mean, every other player had almost double what they had. So we're gonna need to get Sawfish more opportunities to hold onto that core as that forward player, work on that positioning a little bit more, because the coordination between Spirit Crab and Grant OS is nothing to scoff at. The passing plays have been immaculate, and they can even turn it up all by themselves as well. And Raichu, he buys so much time, so many goals that should have been scored much earlier, but ultimately it matters not if the core is already on its way back to UNC's side of the field.
Yeah, and remember, that was UNC-CH's map pick of Gates of Obscura. Game 2, we were going to Taiko Temple, which is a map for SLU and also a great map for two brawlers. And look at this. Hotshot, Twin Drive, right? Amazing picks for, I would say, midfielders, right? Midfielders would really love that hotshot. Maybe this is the time for UNC-CH to make that comeback that they really need for this series.
Yeah, those are crazy picks on almost the entirety of the midfield cast, but the brawlers can make good use of the added cooldowns as well. But the person who would really benefit the most from both these CDR awakenings is Raichu. That
Yes,
poor
yes.
man has been working overtime, and these awakenings will help supplement his already rock solid defense.
I mean, it'll take him from Raichu 334 to Raichu 999 with how much he'll be able to defend, right? Especially with this hot shot, right? On Asher, on even something like the Atlas too, right? You'll be able to defend forever. And UNC-CH, recognizing that one of their big problems was the Spirit Crab Julie, opt to ban it out. But as a quick side note, Spirit Crab plays a ton of Dubu, and Dubu is a really good pick on this map.
Yeah, the melee goalies as forwards on this map actually way more viable than you think. Mako, Atlas, Dubu. They can all be played to varying degrees of success depending on the pilot on this map, but that goes for literally any character. All depends on the pilot. And I mean, we saw how potent Spirit Crab has been
Oh,
already, and we see an Atlas coming out for UNC. That's probably both a solid pick and a deny if a Spirit Crab's trying to get a little bit crazy, but that's most definitely Raichu on that Atlas. Twin Drive Atlas, Hotshot Atlas, CDR Atlas, so scary. And it's as you mentioned, Ether, we see a Dubu, but an X to supplement it.
yeah, so this is a Sad Boy special, right? Dubu X. Except this time it's probably going to be the X midfield with the Dubu forward. And with an Asher getting picked here, I'm more inclined to think this is an Atlas midfield with Raichu running back the Asher.
Yeah, this is really fascinating drafting here. I mean, every single close ranged goalie, barring Mako, in picked here. And oh well, I spoke too
Okay.
soon. This is
Yeah.
this is a crazy draft. All the brawlers, the people with like no range whatsoever, they're coming out on Taiko Temple because this map simply allows for it. But a Mako on SLU, likely the Fool. We already saw how comfortable he was navigating that pick, and it's a CDR start. And Dubu X, yeah, they're gonna like having a Mako in the backfield.
I mean, yeah. One side you have Mako X Dubu, on the other side you have Asher Atlas Kazan. All I'm saying, like the thing is when your longest range ability in the game is a Mako primary, I think we have other issues.
Yeah,
This is just gonna be an
yeah.
all-out brawl, melee. I'm in your face, you're in my face. We're gonna have fun. 6 people sitting on a drum and just playing the core or the kill game. I don't know what to expect, honestly.
I mean, it'll all come down to which team can retain possession of the core longer because, I mean, they can't control such extensive parts of the map because they're all so close range. So capitalizing on these quick opportunities will be key, and I think it's going to be a daunting task for both teams, right? Full Sawfish and
Yeah.
the letter B. They're working on trying to get the core and keep it upfield longer, and Raichu has been doing an excellent job diffusing the pressure from Grant OS and Spirit Crab. So we'll have to see which team can ultimately control the core longer in a game that's full of brawlers.
I'm curious, is anyone going to opt for the mag souls here? Are we going to see something like double mags on one side? And wow, okay, we do for
Ether.
SLU, double mags. And then on the other side, mags only for full sawfish with the slick kicks picked up for the letter B. And the other thing to note, we have one hot shot on letter B and everyone else went twin drive.
And it's fascinating you mentioned that because it's argued that Atlas is the biggest enjoyer of a secondary, so Twin Drive might have been a good pick, but unfortunately, full Sawfish, he's feeling the effects of all the melee goalies, all the damage they can pump out here. But it's actually UNC striking first, able to get both barriers and a res online. A little bit too late. Full Sawfish couldn't get lived to half HP. X Maximus negated by the pass splitter and snare drums in the face of Flip as well. I mean, so many creations in the face of Raichu. How do you deal with it?
I mean, I don't know. You'd think someone would know, but it's certainly not me, right? As I called this at the start, we just have everyone sitting in one corner and throwing all their abilities, and some cinema happens, which I am all for, right? I can't wait to see more of this.
Yeah, cinema indeed. But right now, it's the core upfield for SLU and the Tofu Fortress to lock it in. Spirit Crab, it was a long walk to get there, but he pressed the funny ults and he got it in.
Sometimes all it takes is a little shiggy wiggy out by Dubu, and then you find that opener for the game. And we want to see more of those plays out by Spirit Crab. And Grant actually pays for it with his life, but Spirit Crab gets one barrier, no second one to be found yet. The Fool's so patient with the strike as he gets 2 great clears against Full Sawfish.
And it's a 1v1 against Raichu, which he unfortunately can't win. Core too deep in that corner. The log securing it. Unbelievable play from Spirit Crab off a lost power play. They'll be happy to trade one bear if it means they can keep this offense going, but we can already see how volatile this map is. Spirit Crab had the core and lost it just as quickly. Without the range on Taiko Temple, these drums will play a huge factor in this game.
Yeah, the drum's doing so much work, right? But as melee goalies, you kind of have the ability to lock down these specific locations. Raichu burns some abilities on Grant's offense, has to burn the flip, sends it to the opposite side. The X Maximus already popped. No defense anymore as Raichu loses another goal to Spirit Crab.
And just as quick as the core went to SLU side of the field, they hit him with a return to sender. And that means Raichu is down all the abilities he just had, clearing it in the first place, which is why it was so quick for Spirit Crab and Grant to convert. And the Tofu Fortress, oh, that's illegal. Hey, that shouldn't have happened. But
yeah, I mean save Odyssey, yeah. Save Dubu. Dubu's Tofu Fortress is a bit of a weird ability, and wow, double barrier actually found off of an awkward bounce in favor of UNC-CH, and so much damage on Spirit Crab. The flip, letter B finding a goal for UNC-CH.
Yeah, letter B in the perfect position to make the best use of a flip. Got the hit stun on the Fool, 2 micrometers from the goal line. So really great stuff from them as they look to keep this offense going. Letter B, hands off the keyboard, could have kept it in the corner a little bit longer with a missed astral projection bell ringer. It's good, finds that first barrier off of rather wide path splitter, and the roll from Spirit Crab. My goodness, they are converting off of all opportunities, but Letter B able to pick up another kill with this Atlas in the midfield topspin, but it's traded in kind with the flip. Ult's committed though. They'll be happy to hold on for a little bit longer. UNC, but Spirit Crab and Grant OS back online. Power play not for a little bit longer. The Fool, a little bit of a misplay there. Rare to see that from him as the drum and bass comes out to supplement this offense a little bit more. Fortunately, not going to find too much as the flip is burned from Raichu, but has been, as per usual, the hero of UNC.
Yeah, I mean, he has been holding it forever on this open net, but they still have a flip to crack as well on top of the barrier for the Fool. Some great defense out by Raichu 334, but not enough abilities as he's slightly out of range. And with no strike shot to save him this time, it's too much for the UNC-CH goalie.
Yeah, and despite the Letter B picking up a few kills, they unfortunately weren't able to hold on to the core long enough to make use of it. Prime time on the board here. Fool will be wise to get that away from Raichu, but doesn't. Lets it through for Deadeye. An interesting pick as Ad Rush is taken by this Atlas, who I think has been the person who has been finding the most kills. This is an absolute crazy draft this far.
Yeah, it looks like you see what I see in the spec training as well. We're going to have a bit of a bloodbath for both sides, right? We've already seen some pretty good kills come out for Spirit Crab and Grant OS, but with this adrenaline rush popping, potentially for Letter B, we might see even more kills, and then the spec training from Full Sawfish allowing him to kind of supplement this damage for Letter B, giving him an opportunity to focus on these potential kills.
Yeah, but they need to keep the core upfield. They lost that barrier because the Spirit Crab just completely shut down the whole side of that field. No chance of a clear. Doing a better job now is the Letter B, who's running interference. That's what we need to see from the Atlas midfield, keeping his forward up. It's Full Sawfish who took the damage awakening, but has only been taking the damage for going up to Spirit Crab here. Top-sided attack, roll negated by the Letter B. He's in the middle of it. That's what we want to see, a flip and an expanse. Gets the clear for now. A nice strike shot from the Fool, keeping the play alive. All the cooldowns being burnt, but unfortunately, it's just not enough to hold on to that second barrier. A nice hit stun. Missed strike, though. Grano West is now staggered. If Letter B can find this kill, this is what they be. This might, oh my god. This is what they're going to need.
Right?
Yes, thank you.
No barrier to be found just yet as the Tofu Fortress keeps it trapped in the corner, but we saw this expanse before in the last series as the Letter B sends it back into his own net.
Yeah, highly unfortunate stuff from the Letter B. It was a nice idea, right? He saw the Tofu Fortress coming out here, but I mean, it's a similar story. This offense pressure is insane. The drum and bass, Spirit Crab, just absolutely blitz them. And there's two barriers and the goal falling in quick succession. This Mako is just enabling an absolute uncharacteristic speed blitz from the X and the Dubu, and it's having devastating consequences.
Yeah, and I mean, when you have a pair of pretty proficient brawlers, if you have a Mako to kind of supplement their brawling capabilities, that will bring you so far. But the Letter B finding a kill. The Fool, oh no, there's that flip. It goes to the top side, thankfully for UNC-CH not finding anything. But there's still two barriers to chew through, and with two goalies sitting on the opposite side, it's going to be pretty difficult. One barrier found, second one actually found to the bell ringer, and now Raichu, he has a lot of space to work with, especially with this flip.
Raichu in a perfect position, forced to use it now though. Wise choice in the face of that rollout. Spirit Crab has been winning every single interaction. The drum almost dangerously close to a goal, and there's that pressure coming in once more. What? Okay, a down clear, and it just gets right past the Fool, who is in the middle of his secondary. A rare blunder from SLU, but it has breathed life into the UNC team.
Yeah, I mean, the Letter B with what I would say is probably an A-class play there with the perfect angle around the Fool. we need to see more of these angles, and hey, maybe even more of these ad rush procs. Raichu looking to get some damage on Grant, giving up a barrier for it. Hopefully it is worth, as the core is sitting on this other side, but Spirit Crab has the flip, sends it up to Grant, doesn't really find this barrier yet. Now they do, and Raichu with a misclear sends it to Grant. That's 2 sets for SLU.
Yeah, I mean, the corner offense reigning supreme once more in the face of Dubu X. It just becomes that much more potent. I really like the play from the letter B. He's been alleviating some of the pressure on Raichu, but it's unfortunately not enough. Not only are they getting swarmed by projectiles and abilities, but just raw movement speed as well. But yet again, Raichu is afforded both Prime Time and Rapid Fire in exchange for the Missile Prop Dubu. An interesting trade of interest there. This might be UNC's win con here.
Yeah, and then on the other side, letter B actually gets the Fighter Flight, right? Which gives him way more mobility in this midfield. He can look to send it around the Dubu, send it around the X, and just outplay them. No barriers actually taken there, and a great defense out by letter B, and Raichu the double goalie on this defense. But maybe now something will fall as the second barrier does fall, and we have a power play still in favor of SLU.
Yeah, Full Selfish finally back online. And the thing that UNC needs to do here is get Full Selfish in the action a little bit more. I mean, it's been like 10 minutes of play, and he is level 3. He has not been seeing much of anything except maybe a gray screen from his deaths.
Yeah, and the gray screen not doing very well for UNC-CH. No barriers taken yet. Spirit Crab, he has this flip. He's walking up with the core alongside Grant. The barrier beam not enough to defend against the X, and I really would have liked some sort of flip to maybe get it down to letter B for a bit of a conversion.
Yeah, and the formula that UNC is using right now is not working. The core is just wandering off into the worst territory imaginable, but they do have a flip to work with. Forced to use it there is Raichu. Responded to kind, but able to be diffused rather quickly. And for the first time in a long time, it is UNC striking first. They finally got possession of the core and put it in the corner with an Atlas standing in the face of it. Beautiful positioning from them.
I mean, letter B, those are some really nice strikes. Unfortunately, not more than one barrier could be found, and then there's the 2 barriers falling on the opposite side. This is not good for UNC-CH. Letter B playing his life as the core comes back to him. The X Maximus finally timing out, but the Fool has a flip ready, sends it to the opposite side. Raichu defending as best as he can, but the core, it just stays in this midfield, and now the Fool, no flip to his name, has to find a way to get the core out.
Yeah, and we're seeing a much better job here, actually, of UNC holding on to this core and keeping it forward. An opportunity there denied by the Fool. Unfortunately, crooked leverage, not enough there. Miss Strike War, the Fool holding on for now, and Grant OS. I mean, he didn't even rotate back once. He was just sitting on top of Raichu for the majority of that points, and they just got the core to him once, and they were able to score.
Yeah, unfortunately, I really don't think it should have gone in there, right? Raichu might have just missed the sweet spot on the primary, and that's kind of why Grant was given the opportunity to send it in. And yeah, burns the flip there, which is pretty smart, right? He kind of needs to, at risk of losing a lot to that Dubu ult. But the one who is losing a lot is the HP of Full Sawfish, and he gets sent off by the Bell Ringer. And now in a 2v3, a very tough situation for UNC-CH. But a great primary out by letter B by so much time, and now Full Sawfish, he'll be back really soon. Another great primary from Raichu in the corner, and now Full Sawfish is finally back, but the barrier does fall.
Oh, too little, too late. They did a great job stalling it out for as long as possible, but unfortunately just not enough. The barrier beams, unfortunately, just ran out, and that was a beautiful self-pass from Grant OS into the X Maximus. And SLU, Grant and Spirit Crab, they're showing that they can fill in the shoes of their predecessors with ease.
Yeah, definitely looking about as strong as they were last season. But the thing to keep in mind is Raichu on this Asher. He has still looked pretty good, and I think compared to last game, letter B has also stepped up pretty well. I think Full Sawfish needs to find a few more opportunities on this offense, or really just kind of wait for letter B to give him these chances. I think the fact that he was moving around a lot made it really tough for him to find these defined plays, unlike what Grant was doing towards the end of that game, where he just sat on top of Raichu and waited for the Fool and Spirit Crab to just scoop him the core.
Yeah, and it's not just about scooping an individual at the core. It's also sometimes the job of the forward to recognize when they need to come back and help on the defense where the core has been staying for the past like 10, 30 seconds because you have to deal with a Tofu Fortress and an X Maximus in the corner. Sawfish just didn't rotate enough, and that is why he was level 3, barring the end of a 13-minute game with 37 redirects.
Yeah, but I think there's still a lot of time for UNC-CH to figure out their formula for this season. They still have, I think, 6 more games left they can play. SLU with a great strong showing, as was predicted coming into this. But I think that's probably it for us, right? There is one more series, but you guys will be seeing a new pair of faces soon. Anything you want to say before we go off air?
Absolutely great performance from everybody. Valiant showing, good game scene, and something left to be desired on UNC as they go back to the drawing board. But they have the star power in Raichu, and the letter B. He awakened. The UNC team, they still have hope. Yeah, I had to throw it out there, Ether. I see a reaction, man. I'm sorry, bro. It's UNC, and I'm TikTok brain rotted. Of course, I have to say UNC. Anyway, don't throw UNC out.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay,
That's
we're
enough
cutting.
unking.
We're cutting.
All right. That's about it. Well, with that in mind, everyone, thank you guys for coming. Don't go anywhere, as we still have one more series left today, but it won't be us. A new pair of faces on the other side. See ya.
Yeah.